Are you tired of spending your time and money chasing strategy after strategy only to discover what worked 10, 5, or even 2 years ago is not working now? Things shift fast in the online space, and if you're not keeping up, you're getting left behind. It's time for something different. Welcome to the Marketing, Media, and Money Podcast, where every single episode will be jam-packed with proven, profitable strategies, behind-the-scenes secrets, and what's working now resources from industry experts and global influencers to help you scale your business, shorten your learning curve, and stand out in a crowded, noisy marketplace. And now, your host, award-winning marketing and media strategist, and international speaker, Patty Farmer.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the Marketing, Media, and Money Podcast. I am really excited today to share with you an amazing expert and somebody who really understands something that is near and dear to my heart, which is all about how to network properly. And so let me tell you a little bit about her. So Tamara Burkett is a savvy relationship builder and knows that authentic relationships are the lifeblood of a thriving business. Coupled with her master's education in organizational management, Tamara helps small business owners find the right system to manage relationships and simplify follow-ups for a profitable and productive business. I love that she calls herself a customer loyalty architect. That is super exciting right there. I just love that name, right? It's all about a name. I just love that. And thank you so much for being here with me today. I am really excited. And I know we have a lot of things that we are going to share today with the audience. So I hope everybody has their pen and paper out because we're going to be sharing some gold.
Thank you. Thank you, Patty, for having me.
I love it. So let's first get started with a little bit about you and your journey. And what was your aha moment? Because, I know that when we're all growing up, we don't just grow up and decide we're going to be what we are right now. I know for sure I didn't. Mm-hmm. What was it for you? I mean, when you were young and you thought about what you were going to be when you grow up, what was your aha moment that led you to what you're doing now?
Oh, it's interesting. I think like most kids who don't know what they don't know, you shout out the most common occupation, right? I want to be a doctor. But in high school, I thought, international business, that's what I want to go for. And so I went to school. I did not score high enough in my math. I think it was like the ACT or something to actually start in the School of Business. And so it's okay, well, liberal arts it is. And so that was my thought going into college and high school, is that I want to do business. I don't know what that looked like. We'll see what happens. And then as I, graduated from college and was, got off into my profession, which at the time was in nonprofit, I quickly realized that, I am a square peg in a round hole. I don't know how long this is going to last me. I've always wanted to go in business for myself. I don't know when that's going to happen. And 3 years ago, I got the opportunity to really just make that commitment and say, I'm going to do this or die trying. So that's how I really got started in business. I always saw myself as someone being like a consultant, someone working with bigger companies or just companies in general, showing them how to really relate to people, how to build those relationships to scale their business.
I love that. And I love that you said that it all starts with a decision and a commitment, right? Because that's what really, really matters. Absolutely. One of the things I really love about you is that you seem like a natural networker. People say that to me all the time. Oh, Patty, you're a people connector and a master networker. Mm-hmm. While I would agree that I am, I don't know if I was born that way. I think it's a skill, right? Yeah. Now, here's one thing I do want to say about you. You hold a record for me. You hold the record. I'm just going to put it out there. So you out there in the audience might want to make sure you connect with her. You hold the record for giving me the most quality introductions. So not like so much in number of introductions, but the fact that you do your work and that the people that you have connected me to have been amazing introductions. So I really appreciate that. I love that. I know for me, when I connect people, it's really important to tell people why you're connecting them. So you don't just sort of leave them hanging, right? You actually tell them why. So I think that it's really important. So let's kind of start there first.
Sure.
What would you say are some of the skills people should either have or cultivate, right? Or maybe work on, because, there's soft skills, right?
Yeah.
What are some of the skills that you think people should cultivate in order to be able to be successful when they're out networking?
Sure. So I think it's really important that people are very strategic and that they're intentional about why they're networking. And then part of it is your character, being genuine and having that natural curiosity to get to know people. So for me, when I network with people, some of it is, there is a part of it that, I'm really intentional about getting to know people who can be a resource to me, who can be of value to me one way or another, right? And it doesn't have to be to the extent that they become a client. It's really, what can I learn from this person? And then also, like, what can I provide this person too? Because if I provide them value, they will in turn always think highly of me and will be more than willing to introduce me or connect me to someone should I ask. So, being really intentional and strategic about networking is really important. And if you're genuine about getting to know people, you will ask them interesting questions, and that will just open the floodgates of them just sharing so much about themselves. And I get a natural high when that happens. Like, oh my goodness, I didn't know, Patty, moved from New Mexico. That was so cool. I know somebody else in New Mexico and they have similar personalities. Let me connect them. Right. So just having that willingness to give value as well as receive is so important in networking.
I agree with you. And I think that one of the things that is so important is to be interested and not just interesting. Right? You need to be interested. Have you ever, and I'm sure you have, have you ever talked to somebody and when you're talking to them, they ask you a question, you can pretty much tell when they're asking, they're not really listening to you or that they even really seem like they care. They're just waiting for you to take a pause so that then they can answer the question. So I think it's really important that people really know that you're interested in what they say.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What they say may not even affect you. May not even be, it may be something that you're going to link them to somebody you know. It could be a referral, an introduction. Not everything is all about us. If you listen with the intent to serve, not sell, it changes the whole ballgame, I think.
Absolutely. It absolutely does. I totally agree. And, I think a lot of networking, like people don't know how to exit a conversation. Like if you're not interested, just be upfront about it. Just say, there's somebody else I want to meet, give yourself 5 minutes to connect with people. You don't have to stay there all day and try to strike up a 20-minute conversation with somebody. That's not what networking is all about. It's about finding those quality people. And if you're talking to someone that doesn't meet that criteria, there's nothing wrong with exiting that conversation.
I agree with you. And I think there's a lot of different ways to do it too. A lot of times, if somebody I'm talking to and I can kind of see that maybe the vibe isn't for us or we don't really align. When I'm exiting, I just say to them, I say, I really can't see where possibly we could work together, but what I have seen is that maybe there's some people that I could introduce you to. Who would be the number one person you would like an introduction to? And I let them tell me, and then they feel like I have served them, and then I can move on. Because the reality is, when you're in a room with 100 people, right? I mean, you're really only looking for 5 or even 3 people that are the right people. It's not how many people, it's that they're the right people. So I think that really makes sense. So let's talk about, once you have onto a networking event, whether it's virtual or whether it's in person, or maybe you're speaking. I mean, there could be a lot of different ways to connect with people. But once you do, here's one of the things that I feel that I have seen people make the mistake of doing over and over again, which is that they believe that just because you exchange business cards with someone is implied consent to add them to your email list.
Oh, no.
I know that that is not true. It is against the canned spam law, but I see people do it over and over and over again.
Yes.
Now, I have a couple ways that I like to set myself apart by asking someone, right? But I'd really love to hear, what are some of the strategies that you use when you're talking to somebody and you know you want to stay in contact with them, are exchanging business cards, you got to the point in the conversation where you both know you want to. Exchanging business cards does not mean let's put each other on our email list without asking. How do you transition that conversation into that? And do you have any tips about how to ask for permission?
Absolutely. So I like to network face-to-face, and I also like virtual networking, right? That is different from building your email list. Your email list really comprises of people who are interested in your services and they want to get to know you better with the intent of purchasing something from you. So when you meet someone, when you're networking, that's a different ballgame because they can be a resource to you. That's like adding to your network. So you don't know whether or not they're a prospect at that point. So I add them to my CRM when there are a couple of things that I know and understand about them, right? I know that I want to keep in communication with them and build that relationship. They're not necessarily a prospect. They can be a strategic partner. So that means that I'll keep in communication with them, but that's not necessarily through my email list. My email list are campaigns that I'm sending people who will purchase something from me. So that's a little different from somebody that I'm naturally growing a relationship with, because they can be useful in my life in multiple ways. Now, once they tell me, hey, Tamara, and they give me cues that they're interested in my service or something in the near future, that's when I change and say, okay, well, you should join my email list because I have a lot of great tips and a lot of great information that can help you with that decision. And so that transition can be done over email, that can be done in a conversation, but it typically takes a little longer to kind of nurture that relationship to the point that they want to buy something from me. I can nurture that relationship really from the aspect of this person can be an ally, we can collaborate on a project, or this person can be a strategic partner where they're referring me, or I really just like that they're sharing wisdom with me. So I'm building more of a friendship with them. So that's usually the difference between like an email mailing list and somebody that I'm building as part of my network.
I love that. And one of the things that you said that I really love is by being intentional about who you add to your email list. So one of the specialties that I do is list building. And one of the things that I try to teach people all the time is getting people on your email list is one thing. Getting them to stay on your email list is a whole nother thing. Yes. So you need to have a stick strategy in place because we know that everybody reads their emails with one finger on the delete button. So if you do it properly, and maybe it takes a little bit more work to get them on your email list. But if they stay on your email list because they want to be there, because they see the value you bring, I mean, really, honestly, there's just a process in how you do it. So I love the way you did that. But before we go any further, could you please, for those that may not know that are listening, could you please tell them what a CRM is, and then talk about what are a few questions you might ask yourself when you're trying to decide if and when a CRM is for you, and which ones you might want to look at?
Sure. So CRM is acronym for Customer Relationship Management, and it's software that helps you manage your business relationships, okay? So that can be your vendors, that can be prospects, that can also be your network, your business friends, right? So you can manage multiple relationships in this system. What I explain to my clients is that CRMs today are totally different from CRMs 5 or 10 years ago. And how people use them today is also different from the intended purpose of a CRM. CRM is, again, about building relationships, and it all depends on how you receive people into your business. So for people like me and like you, Patty, we do a lot of networking. We go to a lot of different events. We do virtual Zoom chats with people. We're building our network, right? And so people can enter our business through those conversations that we have, like belly to belly, right? That's the fastest way that you convert sales. So that's one way that people come into our relationship. And you want a system that you can incorporate that process in. So it's easy to remember who you spoke to, when you spoke, what did you talk about, right? Where are they from? What are their interests? Why are you talking with them, right? And then you have another way that people enter your business, and that can be through online. So that's your landing pages. That's building your email list. There are CRMs that will help you with managing that too. Now, those relationships, you can build them at different touch points and in different ways. They come on your email list and you can give them a call, or you can meet them face to face, then they can jump on your email list. You want a system that you can help manage those relationships in the different touch points so that you don't get confused and you don't drop the ball. People need you to show up in a powerful way and to remember them. And CRMs allow you to do that without relying on your memory to do that.
And that's really good. And
Yeah.
you touched on something I want to do too before we get into the questions.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about right now that they might want to keep in mind
Mm-hmm.
is I know for me that one of the things that has been key in building my business,
Uh-huh.
whether it is my email list, whether it is the social media platforms I'm on,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have found for me that one of the best things that works is segmenting my list.
Absolutely.
Whether it is on social media, whether it is on my email list,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what, I always segment. And this is a way that I have found that I am able to not just do my business, but it
Mm-hmm.
helps me when I'm doing introductions, etc., to other people
Absolutely.
as well. So when you're thinking about CRMs, we also
Mm-hmm.
want to be thinking about that. So what would be a segmentation tip you would give on what somebody might want to think about when they're segmenting? So what should they do? I have lots of them I could give.
Yeah.
This is kind of your expertise, so
Yeah.
I really want to hear it. What would be one for you?
Absolutely. So, CRMs, there's no one size fit all for CRMs. And so their functions and the features that come along with them looks a little different. You want them to do the same function of segmenting or grouping your people, but it looks different in one CRM from another. One group say that, you can tag people, different names or different things. So when you search a name, it'll pop up. One can just have different fields, right? So it looks different from different CRMs. And so when I talk about grouping with my clients, I really look at their business. I look at their service. I look at who are their clients and what are their issues. A lot of times I encourage people to segment their audience based on the issues or the challenges that they have in their business, which also aligns with your different offerings. So it's easy to connect and identify what path or what package they should take. So if somebody, for you, Patty, so you have your magazine, you have this podcast, and you are expert at marketing. So there are different issues that people have when it comes to marketing. And when you're able to tag that you automatically know, oh, this person has this issue. They'll be perfect for this package, right? And then now you know how to craft your conversation or your questions for them so it can become obvious to them, and you can explain the value of why that package will help them resolve their issue. So that's one way that you can segment your list is based on the issues that they have. You can also do it by demographics, right? Their age, their gender, their income. That's a traditional way of doing that to make it easier on the business owner when it comes to marketing and who to tag and how to do that. But the more personalized messages you can give, it's all really dictated in how you can group your people.
I love that. Mm-hmm. One of the things that has worked for me the past couple years is no matter how they got on my list, like, because sometimes they put themselves on my list, right? Right. So no matter how they got on my list, because I like my list to be nice and clean, and I always want to be of service because this is my network, right? Yeah. Because of that, one of the things that I have done is I have found that I just ask. And so twice a year, I send out an email, and I say, to make sure that I am serving you in the way you want to be served, please select below areas that you would love to get information. Yeah. Every one of the areas that they pick, those are the areas that they get tagged in, so that way, not only am I giving them consistent information, but I'm giving them relevant information to what they want to receive, which is why I have a very, very low unsubscribe rate. So I think that if you think about it also in that way, then you also want to know that things change in people's business, and what they may have wanted to get from you at one time might not be what they want to get from you another time. And I think one of the things that I find interesting when people talk about how upset they get when somebody unsubscribes. Yeah. And I have to tell you, for me, I don't mind when somebody unsubscribes. If I'm not serving you or something has changed and this is no longer aligns with you or is of value to you, please unsubscribe, because I don't think what people realize is you pay to have people on your email list, whether you realize it or not. Most CRMs charge you by a tier, right? And so there are people that are on there, they're not interested. Having them stay on your list does not help you or serve them.
Right. Absolutely. I love how you hit on asking people what they want and sending out that survey and really abiding by their answers. I've received so many emails from people who I'll unsubscribe to, and then they'll keep emailing me. I'm like, your ranking actually goes down. That affects your Google ranking. If somebody's on your list and they're not interacting with the information that you're sending them, that's a hit on you. And so it's so important that people are engaged to the point that, yes, you do want people to unsubscribe. And when they unsubscribe, don't continue to email. I know it's common sense, but like, people are just so focused on vanity metrics right now that it's, at the end of the day, it's not bringing in more revenue. You want quality over quantity.
Absolutely. So now let's get back to the questions. So give us like 3 or 4 questions that they should ask themselves. So when they're thinking to themselves, okay, I think the time is right, or maybe it's the time to change, right? Yeah. Maybe what they're doing isn't serving them anymore, and they're thinking about making a change. I know it's really easy to go look at, websites and hear and see all these features. Oh, it does this. But the reality really is, it really just needs to work for you. So what are some questions that maybe they should just ask themselves first so that they can, now I know they should be reaching out to you. You could absolutely help them with this. What are some questions they should be thinking about and asking themselves when they're trying to make that decision?
Absolutely. The first thing they really should do is evaluate their business and identify where your gaps are. So you want a CRM. Why do you want a CRM? What do you envision that CRM doing for you? And what is the change that you want to see? What's the transformation? So for instance, if you know that you spend a lot of time searching for emails and you have people that you forget to follow up with, and you're just missing out on that revenue, then you want more of a contact management CRM, something that you can link to your calendar, or already has a calendar. So you can identify the appointments or when you last spoke with someone. You want something that will pull in email conversations that you have, so you can see that timeline and that history, and you can quickly look at those conversations to just remember that information as you're talking, because follow-ups are about keeping the conversation going, moving forward. So those are some of the basic overall features that you want if you are missing emails and you really need to get organized. That's a feature. Now, if you are having issues with just closing, like you don't know what you're doing wrong to close, because you get enough people coming in, but they're just not saying a yes to you. You would want a CRM that's more focused on your sales process. So again, it tracks your follow-ups, but now it's about scoring your leads. Maybe you're talking to the wrong people. So it helps you create that whole qualifying process with your leads. So you're not wasting time talking to the wrong people. It also helps you with identifying who's already in your pipeline. So how many people have you spoken to? How many people are still interested based on their score? You know, they're interested in your services. Is just about you providing that quality, that value, so that they can say yes. And you'll be able to see that and track your sales. And what I love about sales specific CRMs is that it helps you predict your revenue. And that's one of the number one issues when it comes to scaling your business, is that if you can't predict your revenue, then you can't invest in your business. You don't know what's coming in. It's really hard to set goals, right? So seeing that really helps you to scale your business. And there's CRMs like Salesforce and Pipedrive. Those are the two popular sales-oriented CRMs.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now let's think about what has helped you. What would you say is the best entrepreneurial advice you've ever received?
Oh my goodness. The best entrepreneurial advice. That's really hard to pin down. It's so for me, when it comes to being a business owner, I think it's owning up to everything in this business is all on me. My life is on me. My dreams is all my responsibility, and what goes in my business, it's all of my responsibility. So either I'm going to step up to the plate and make those hard decisions and, do what's painful, whether it's doing things that I don't like in my business, letting things go, disconnecting to people or groups. It's like, I'm in charge of this. This is my baby. That means it's all on me. So I need to do whatever is necessary to grow as a person so my business can grow. And I know people have heard that, have seen that in different ways, but I went to, I think it was a huge high performance conference, and it was said to me in a way where it's like, okay, I had to realize that I was relying on other people for me to be successful. So I was hoping and praying that somebody would say yes to my package out of pity or out of something other than because they need it and they see me as being competent, right?
So I love that. I really do love that. I always like to say to my clients, the first step to success is when you make the decision to decide to be the CEO of your company.
Yes.
When you're the CEO of your company, you own your calendar.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
I see so many people say, oh, I don't have time for that, or I don't have time for this, or worse, make appointments and then cancel because like a potential client comes in that calls with an appointment.
Yes.
You own your calendar and you need to be very careful. And so I think that stepping up Even when they introduce themselves, one of the things that I love is, say you're a coach, or maybe you're a personal trainer, whatever the case may be. But when somebody says, what do you do? And you say, oh, I'm a personal trainer, or you say, oh, I'm a business coach, versus saying, I'm the CEO of, totally different. The perception's different. You step into it. Words are very, very important. Be careful how you use your words, is what I always like to say. So I think that's really good. So what would your advice be to a brand new entrepreneur or business owner? I mean, it's, you know, like so many times we think, oh, if we could just go back, what would we do differently or first? So what would your advice be?
As a business owner, I think that the first thing we do when we decide to step in the entrepreneur arena is to look externally for help, and not understand that we need to look from within and play to your strengths.
Ooh, that's good.
So I would tell people to do, take inventory of what are your strengths, and really think about that, and how can you apply that to your entrepreneurial journey? Because too many people think that they need this external help, or they need to pay for services for something, where it's like, that's not even where you need to start. Because when you see value in yourself and you're the bomb, everybody else, you're going to start attracting people, and they'll start hiring you, asking, well, how much does it cost? How can we work together? What is the next step? So
I love that.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. So what is the lesson? Like, we all have lessons we're learning all the time. You're never at a place in your business where you've learned all the lessons, right?
Right.
So what's the lesson that took you the longest to learn?
Oh my goodness.
Because I think that until you learn it, they just keep showing back up, right? And so I know that I have some too. So what is a lesson that just took you the longest to learn?
It took me the longest to realize that everyone is broken in one way or another. Everyone has their flaws that they don't want the world to see. But those who are very transparent and just let their stuff lie and say, hey, this is me, who I am, those people are the one who tends to have the most success that people love, because they're genuine, and they have this humbling quality about themselves that people just really like to be around. And so I have to remind myself of that, whatever hangups that I may have and see in myself, other people don't see. And we all have issues. So there's no one, just because you may be a little further in business than I am, doesn't mean that we're not peers.
Exactly.
Because we're all working towards the same goal. They may just be at a different stage, and it's not personal. I'm not going to take it personal if that person is not interested in connecting with me,
I think it's kind of important to own it, because I really feel like a lot of times people think, oh, I would really love to do that, but I see everything you do. And it's like, no, you see this right now, but it hasn't always been this way. I mean, I wasn't just born where I am right now, right? There was a lot of work that I put in and invested too, right? So I think it's really important for people to realize your mess is your message. And it's just important for people to help them shorten their learning curve by telling them, this is what I did, and it was kind of an epic fail.
Yeah.
You can help somebody too. Not everything is all fabulous and works perfect. We stumble along the way. Sharing that, I think, really helps people too. And just owning it. If you mess up, and it's just pivot and then own it.
Yeah. Yep. Just keep going, because there are people who started out and they were a hot mess, and then 10 years later, look where they are now, right? So we all are going through the same process. We're just at different stages.
Oh, good, because that kind of leads me into this next question that I really want to know, which is, what are you doing right now that you're scared of, but you're doing it anyway? What are you stepping into right now that's a little scary, or a lot scary, however much you want to share, or a lot? That's kind of scary, but you're saying, you know what? I know I need to do this, and you're just going to step in it and do it anyway.
Yeah. So right now, for me, is video. I'm doing more videos. I'm putting myself out there. I have my insecurities, with my communication and all this stuff. It was like, you know what? I'm going to put myself out there. I saw this one lady, she was on LinkedIn. And, you know, we all have our flaws and whatnot. And she was out there. She's out there almost every day with a video doing different things. And I saw how her numbers of engagements and comments and likes have grown since she started doing video. And I'm like, if she can do that, I can do that. And if I do more of it, I'll get better. So it's like practice, and I'll start attracting people that understands and needs what I'm offering. So
maybe that person is afraid of video too, and when they see you do it, thinking, oh my gosh, she did that. You know, I have to tell you, that was be vulnerable here too. I really have struggled, and that is probably my thing too, is doing video, which some people say, well, that's kind of funny, Patty, you're a speaker, you're on stages all the time. Like, I know, but video, it just seems like it's a little bit different because you're not connecting with a person in front of you. Right. And I thought that too. And I was telling my best friend, who's not an entrepreneur, and she just kind of has this way of just like, you know, boom, you know, and she said something to me. She's like, Patty, people see you on Facebook. They see you all the time on stage, and people have taken pictures of you all the time when you're speaking and put them on stage. What do you think that, and a lot of it is that I worry about, oh, how am I going to look? Right? We all get on that. Yeah. And she said, Patty, it's not like you look like you're a size 5 when you're on stage, and then they're going to see you in video and go, oh my God, I thought she was a size 0. You know, and when she said it to me, sometimes it's how someone says it. And when she said that to me, I was like, boom. Right. And all of a sudden I thought, that's right, you're not hiring me for that. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, I wasn't even a size 0 when I was a teenager. Right. And so when you think about that, whatever those things are that we're telling ourselves, we gotta get past that. Absolutely. Because the thing really honestly is, we all know that everybody learns different ways. Some people audio, some people visual. So there may be people out there that need you. You're just not doing it in the way they need to hear it. And as soon as they do, not only is this going to be good for you, but you're actually serving somebody else too. So I totally get it. That's why I really like that question. I don't mind being vulnerable myself. So I think that is really interesting. So I want to tell you, I want to make sure that I always serve and support my guests as well. Right. So this is going to be kind of like the open mic part. So this is what I want to say. So before we wrap up, what's the question that I didn't ask you that you wish I did? What's that? Here's your open mic. Okay. I wish you would have asked me what project I'm working on right now. I love that. What project are you working on? What's next for you? What do you love about your business today? What project are you working on right now? Tell me. So right now I'm working on this book. It's a compilation book, and I'm really excited about it because I get to educate people on CRMs and what they truly are. And I think it's needed because there's so much technology and different things come up all the time that a lot of times us as business owners, we think we know what they are and what they should be because our peers are sharing their thoughts and opinions, but they know maybe a little bit more than you. They really don't know either, right? So this is an opportunity for people to get basic understanding of what CRMs are and how they can transform your business. So then you can make better purchasing decisions on the next system you invest in. I love that. Yeah. So how would people connect with you? Absolutely. So I'm on Facebook. I love Facebook. Patty, you turned me on to Twitter. I'm starting to get a little obsessed on that. and it's my name, Tamara Burkett. You can find me. I'm also on LinkedIn. So, you know, if you hear this message and what I'm saying resonates with you and you're like, man, I just want to know that girl. I just want to say hi. Definitely go on social media, reach out to me and say that and let me know that you listen to this podcast. So that would be awesome. I love that, love that, love that. So I think that's really good. And also, I think that have a freebie. You have something a gift. I love it when people show up. It's like going to dinner at somebody's house and bringing a bottle of wine. Right? You have a gift for my audience.
Right.
Tell us about
Especially
it.
If it's
We'll
good
put
wine.
the link in the show notes so that we'll be able to put the link for them. But just tell them about it.
Yeah, it's 5 steps to finding the perfect CRM. And so it really just outlines the basic information and the features that you absolutely must have for your CRM to function properly. So it lays out what you should look for in a CRM to make your search easier and faster.
I love that. So thank you so much. And thank you so much for being here with me today and taking time out of your day. And you shared some real gold. So I hope everybody had some great writer downers because you certainly shared them. Mm-hmm. And everybody, if you enjoyed today's episode, please like, subscribe, and review the podcast on your favorite listening platform. Remember, sharing is caring. And if you have a topic that you would like to see covered or an expert you would love to have me have on the show, please drop me a line, connect with me on social media, and let me know. We would love to know how we can better serve you. So we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you again for being here with us on the Marketing, Media, Money Podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us today on the Marketing, Media, and Money Podcast. To shorten your learning curve even more, make sure to grab your free copy of the Marketing, Media, and Money magazine at www.marketingmediamoney.com. I promise your business will thank you.